Real Madrid just secured a 3-0 victory against Real Valladolid, but let me tell you, it was not as straightforward as the scoreline suggests it to be. This match was a tale of two halves with some serious ups and downs, And today in this video, we are breaking down the 5 biggest takeaways from that game. So let's start with the video and welcome to Madrid Chronicles.
Real Madrid in the Champions League. It is a combination unlike any other in European football. They love this competition. It brings the best out in them year after year.
Point number 1. This was a game of two very different halves. And this was the first thing that really stood out to me as a viewer, as the audience. This match was a classic example of how one team can struggle in the first half like we did, like we seriously struggled, guys, against Valladolid's defense, which was very compact, super compact, and we could barely break them down because we only managed like 3 shots in the first half, of which only one was on target, and it was a pretty frustrating watch, honestly. But the second half, it was a completely different story. What a difference, what an actual difference. Our fullbacks started getting more involved in the game, and our wingers actually started playing wider and sending in crosses and cutbacks into the box, which led to pressure and eventually caused a foul, which set up our first goal, which was out of a free kick. And once the goal went in, it was game on, because after that we had 16 more shots, out of which 8 were on target. All I can say is whatever Carlo Ancelotti said in that halftime talk, it really worked, because we came out like a totally different side and we corrected all our mistakes. Now, point number 2. This front three of Vinicius, Rodrigo and Mbappe will struggle, and we need to be patient with it because we need to talk about them. It is very obvious that they're still trying to find their rhythm with each other, and while they'll definitely be a very quality attacking unit in the future and they have a lot of goals in them, it's going to take some time and we need to be patient. I say that because in this match itself, there were moments where you could see the potential of this attacking unit. Just one good pass, if it connected, would put them on the score sheet. That's how close it was. But in the first half, Valladolid's defense had them on lockdown. Why was that? Because nearly 6 players focused on shutting our attacking 3 down. And of course, there was not much support from the midfield, and hence our attack looked toothless. But what did we see? We saw flashes of what they can become in the future and what they can become if they stick to their positions and work more with the fullbacks. Because when in the second half, they started doing the simple things like combining with the fullbacks, putting in low crosses and making cutbacks, everything seemed different and we started creating real chances, dangerous chances as a team. And with a bit more of discipline and time to gel, I believe this front three, especially with the support of someone like, Jude or Bellingham from the midfield, could be an absolute beast of an attacking unit. We just need to be patient and give them time to click, and once that happens, then we can judge them after a few more games. Point number 3. We missed Kroos' patience and Bellingham's threat against the low block. Playing against a low block is always tough, both for the players and for us as fans watching. This is where you really start to miss, someone like Toni Kroos. His calmness on the ball, his ability to switch play with precision and, his long balls, and just his overall control in tight spaces were sorely missed in the first half. Our players seem to be forcing things instead of, keeping their composure, being calm, passing it around the opponent's box and waiting for the right moment. They wanted to force an attack. Because of that, we kept losing the possession and had to start our attacks from the beginning all over again, which was very frustrating to see as a viewer. And then there's Jude Bellingham. We missed his attacking threat from the midfield very much. There was a moment in the game in the first half where Carvajal was in a great position to cross, but he looked up to see in the box and no one was there. No one apart from our front three, which was being guarded by 6 defenders. Our forwards were double teamed and the attack just fizzled out and Carvajal had to just send the ball back. I am still optimistic about our growth this season, but it's clear we need to work on these areas to avoid making the same mistakes in future games, because we'll be playing against a lot of teams with low blocks this season, especially in La Liga. Now, point number 4. Ancelotti's in-game management was spot on. I personally loved it. Credit where it's due, Ancelotti's in-game management was on point this time, especially compared to our last match against Mallorca. After seeing the team struggle against the low block in the first half, his half-time adjustments made all the difference. He got our forwards playing wider instead of all of them playing on the left wing, and he also pushed our midfielders further up the pitch and had the fullbacks overlapping more instead of just making inverted runs. The substitutions were also spot on, coming in early enough to make a real impact this time and not in the 88th minute. Modric and Brahim Diaz in particular really helped open up the game, and hence Modric and Diaz gave our forwards the space that they lacked in the first half to create something. Brahim's sharpness and clinical finishing not only sealed this game for us, but also set up Endrick's first goal in a Real Madrid shirt. Carlo in this game showed a lot of improvement in his in-game management, and he deserves all the credit for that and for also listening to the criticism from the fans in the last match. Point number 5. Impressive performances from Arda, Brahim, Endrick and Fede. Lastly, let's highlight some individual performances, starting with Arda Güler. Overall, I'd give him a 6 out of 10 for this game, but he really stepped up in the second half. He was good with the set pieces, popped up in dangerous positions, and even had a few shots on target, one of which I believe he should probably have scored. But hey, it's still early on in the season, he's a young lad, and there's plenty of time for him to improve and make an impact, which I am sure he will. I'm very sure about that. Brahim Diaz now came on in the second half and brought some much needed composure on the ball. Once he and Modric came on, we were much more calm on the ball and much more calm and composed in the build-up. His goal, the touch, the finish, the control, pure class. He made a strong case for starting against teams that sit deep against them, and I think he should. Then there's Endrick. He was only on for 15 minutes I guess, but he provided a real focal point for the attack, which is what we were missing in the first half, something like a number 9, a presence in the box, and then scored a fantastic goal which Brahim created, and I could not ask more from the youngster. And now we have to talk about the man of the match, the man of the moment, Fede Valverde. What a performance from this boy. What a performance, such a talented boy. He held the ball well, covered a ton of ground defensively, and was the catalyst for our second half turnaround. His free kick goal broke the deadlock, and his all-around play was just superb. He also set up Brahim's pass for Endrick's goal. This is his second goal in the season, and he's just getting started. I predict him scoring at least 10 goals or even 15 this season. So, these are the 5 things that we learned from Real Madrid's 3-0 win over Real Valladolid. It might have been a game of two halves, but in the end, Madrid's quality shone through. And we wrapped up a not so confident performance with a very comfortable scoreline. What did you think of the match? Tell me and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a post-match analysis from Madrid Chronicles. Next time, Hala Madrid.